Hey everybody, this is Video Bob from Bob's Prop Shop and the Screen Machines TV show. And behind me is the A car, the Delorean time machine from Back to the Future, the Screen Use car. I'm here in LA at the Peterson Automotive Museum. Now, you may have seen some of my earlier videos when the car was at Universal Studios. I've been documenting this car for over 10 years when it sat on the tram tour at Universal, and then during its restoration, after its restoration, as it was put on display in Universal Studios. And there used to be a plaque next to the car that had the names of everybody who participated in the restoration, and my name was on that plaque. They don't have that plaque here at the Peterson, so I kind of wanted to update this video. Finally, the car is on display in a proper fashion instead of in the raised glass box that Universal had it in. It's been donated to the Peterson for, I guess, eternity. I guess it's still the property of Amblin and Universal. Anyway, there was a group of guys that restored the car. And I guess in a way, I played a big role in that, because what happened was there was a guy named Joe Walser who was on a website of mine. I had a website back in the day called bttfstuff.com where all the Back to the Future fans used to congregate. There was a couple different websites, but mine was pretty big. And I introduced a guy named Terry Metalis to Joe. And they both lived out here in LA, and they were both big fans of Back to the Future, and they decided that they wanted to get together with some other friends and build replica time machines. So Joe helped Terry build a replica for himself. Joe built a replica for himself and sold it at an auction. And they worked on a few others. And with the cooperation of all of the Back to the Future fan community, they were able to restore the car that you see behind me. Now, there were people who, over the years, who had stolen parts out of the car when they worked at the park and had donated them back so graciously at the request of Bob Gale. There was other people that are DeLorean repair people who worked for the DeLorean Motor Company who helped restore the physical car. And then there were other people who were electronic geniuses who helped put together the electronics. So there was a huge team of people that worked for over a year. Now my role was as a replica builder. You know, as of the recording of this video, I've done 24 DeLorean time machines, and I've just been around DeLoreans for a long time. I've owned a lot of them, worked on them, and built more DeLorean Back to the Future replica cars or parts more than anyone else on the planet Earth. So I had a lot of hard to find parts that no one could find at any price. And so Joe and Terry called me up and they said, hey, Bob, we're restoring the A car. We need some stuff that can't be got, and we know that you're hiding it in your little vault there in Dallas. So what can you hook us up with? So I sent them all kinds of things. And some of the stuff I sent them wasn't stuff that necessarily went on this car, but they were parts that went on another car out in Biloxi, or not Biloxi, in Tunica, Mississippi at the Hollywood casino, where that car had some screen use parts on it. And in order to get those parts off, I had to trade them some of my replica parts. So if you ever visit that car, you'll see my flex capacitor and Mr. Fusion and a bunch of different parts, So you'll see that there's a bunch of crappy parts on it and then some really good parts. The really good parts are my parts. So some of the stuff that probably ended up on this car are things that I've had for many, many years, I had put together a complete Bible of every wire, nut, and bolt of this car, like an example of something is this blue crossover tube. Like, I'm the only one that has these, this Janitrol. Nobody ever has these things. Just little things, I had lots of these little Canon connectors. Now I can't say which one of these ended up on the car exactly, but I do know the stuff I sent them. I sent them these black oil separators, these towers. I sent them this crossover tube. Just tons and tons of parts, flex capacitor parts, enclosures. I know they used the original flex capacitor that was used. I sent Terry one of these